Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Comfy Org stream. I'm here. I'm Pers as usual, and a whole bunch of stuff dropped in the last couple days. Today, even especially so. Yesterday, we got QuenImage DiffSynth, ControlNet, and Union LoRa. Instant X dropped today. Nano Banana dropped today. What else dropped? One speech to video. It's when it rains, it pours in this space, and it is pouring right now. Torrential rain. But today we're going to play with QuenImage DiffSynth and probably Instant X as well. I'll amend the description later. That dropped actually after we announced this stream. So yeah, things are moving. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to play with Nano Banana yet. I know it just sounds like I'm saying silly words, but Nano Banana is Gemini's new image editing model. It's built into Google Gemini. You can go use it right now if you want. It's really good. Pretty blown away by what it can do. We have local Quen image edit. You have access now to O1 image editing. You have access to Flux image editing with context. We also have Nano Banana, which seems to be the winner right now. It's really quite good. I think we're just going to see more and more of these models that are just super smart and able to do lots of really crazy things. So yeah, like today, we're just going to dive into QuenImage and try to explain what DiffSynth is, what ControlNet is, what LoRa's are, and how they all interrelate to each other. If you want more info about the stuff that's dropping today, please check out blog.comfy.org. That is our blog where we do all the technical deep dives on all the stuff that drops every time, so that if you want to learn about it, you can see it there. There's always example workflows and examples of what the models are doing. So if you miss it, if I go too fast, if it's something you want to go research later, please go check out the blog. It's very cool. Also, we are going to announce the winners of our Comfy Challenge tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Pay attention to our Twitter and LinkedIn and all that stuff, X, all the places. We were going to do it today, but there's been so many submissions that it's taking us a little while to get through. We can't believe how many of you have, just like embraced this challenge. And we're really happy to see it. And honestly, this is a good problem to have because we have just way too much content to go through. And if we go through it too quick, we're going to miss some of the great stuff. So yeah, we are going through it right now, and we will announce the winners and make a nice compilation reel and all that fun stuff. So thank you if you've already made your submission. If you haven't made your submission yet, don't worry. I don't know if you have time for this one. We might be closed. I'm not sure. Feel free to try. Otherwise, we'll be starting a new one as soon as we announce the winner of this one. So we're doing one every week, and I will have the theme for you soon. I don't know what it is. We will announce it with the winner. All right. All that stuff's out of the way. Also, join the Comfy Org Discord. Just go to comfy.org for all these links. Join us, hang out, learn together with us. We do these streams twice a week, Tuesday and Friday. And then also on Thursdays, we have a Discord hangout where Phil and I, and sometimes Julian, if he's around, we hang out in the chat, and it's an open chat. So you guys come hang out with us and tell us what you're working on and show us all the cool stuff you're doing. And we'll work through something ourselves, and we'll all learn together. So yeah, hopefully you can come out to that. That's super fun. Those at the same time as the stream, about 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on Thursdays in the Discord. If you join the Discord, you'll see the event notification. No worries. Yes, friends, let's just not waste any time and go play with it. There we go. All right, here we are in Quen. Okay, so like I said, if you need just put the link here, blog.comfy.org. If you need the workflow for any of this stuff, please go to blog.comfy.org and click on it, grab the workflow, and it'll have all the links to the models in the workflow ready to go, easy peasy. Update Comfy and start playing. blog.comfy.org. All right, so let's go over to our friend here. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, so let's have a look at this big old workflow. So I've modded the default workflow just a little bit to add an image stitch node, but that's about it. Just to kind of like give us a result where we can see the beginning, middle, and end sort of thing here. But yeah, as you can see from this image, what we're doing here is we're taking an input image. This was got from Pexels. So if you ever want to get CC0 images to use for your stuff to play around with for these technical demos, Pexels is a great place. If you're going to use any of that stuff, in a project or whatever, it is mostly attribution. So CC 4, I think it is. So basic CC04. The point is, just shout them out in the materials if you're going to use somebody's photography. Right on. So the other thing you do is just generate images with things, and then do stuff with those images too. All right. So as you can see here, we're taking this image and we're extracting the pose, the open pose, the skeleton. And then we're using that pose data to prompt a new person or a new prompt into the mix. This is pretty common control net behavior, taking an image and pre-processing it into something that you can do something with, and then making a new image from that. This Qwen image union diff synth LoRa, it can handle canny, depth, open pose, and I believe one more, maybe soft edge. Either way, just throw control nets at these and see what happens. And then, so different control net preprocessors are available in the Comfy UI control net aux node pack. You can get that by going to your manager. Do I have a manager? I don't. It's a different version of Comfy. In your manager, you can go get the Comfy UI control net aux nodes, and those will add the preprocessors to your Comfy, and then you can use these things here, like the DW pose estimator. This is what's pulling the skeletons out of the pictures. And then, we got, there's soft edge, there's canny, there's depth, there's a million kinds of depth, there's a million kinds of all these. So please experiment, have fun with it. One really fun place to test it all is there's a node called the AIO aux preprocessor. AIO means all in one. So if you see this big preprocessor drop-down list here, this is pretty much, every kind of preprocessing you can do. So feel free to explore these and try and figure it out. This node's cool. You'll pick the thing and then you pass the image in, pass the image out, and it'll just download any model that it needs before it runs. So pretty sick. In our case, though, today we're just doing some open pose stuff. So let's try changing this prompt here. A man taking a selfie while standing in a pile of garbage in a landfill. So the workflow is pretty simple. It's just a regular Qwen image workflow. Qwen image model load, pass it to a LoRa loader, add the Qwen image union diff synth LoRa, load the clip, load the VEI, and send it all in. The only augmentation to a default Qwen image workflow is adding this LoRa. There's also a control net version of this, which we'll get into in a little bit, but we don't need to yet, because honestly, I've had really good luck with the LoRa version. So if you don't want to deal with the control net version, you don't have to. The Union LoRa is fantastic. Look, it really did the thing. So now, you could imagine the power of this. See if I have any more silly pictures. I have a picture of me. Let's do that. We'll see how it handles a more close-up image with the skeleton. The only other thing I want to do here is go to my image stitch node. Where are you? There you are. And instead of going right, I want to go down. So we're going to go down, down, and down. And now instead of, because they're wide images, they'll be stacked tall instead of wide. So let's try the same thing. The man taking the selfie on the landfill. Seems like all Qwen image controls and controllers produce faint cross-hatch patterns on the image. How do you fix this issue? I haven't run into that. But I think all of these models kind of do. Context does it. I think I see it now. Oh, I kept it tall. That's funny. Oh, that's because I punched in an empty latent. Sorry. I was doing experiments. I forgot. Bit random with BF16 Qwen image. I find better results with higher CFG 3 to 4. Yeah, if you can get the BF16 weights loaded on your GPU, do that. Though I believe they're 40 gigabytes or so. So you're going to need a pretty big GPU, friends. Pretty big GPU indeed. There we go. I mean, it's definitely happening. Oh, that's the other thing. I am running these at 20 steps, but we can also enable this 4-step lightning LoRa here. And then set the steps to 4 and the CFG to 1, and it'll go even faster. Maybe. Canny and depth work okay. They work better with Instant X, in my experience so far. Seems I broke it. Canceled. Okay, let me try undoing that. Go back to 20, 2.5. See if we can get that to work again. Something seems to be wrong with this instance. Come on. Picture of my front yard. How much VRAM do you need to play with this? More than 12 gigabytes, probably. Unfortunately, these models are quite large. There are GGUFs, though, GGUF quantizations. You can grab those, grab ComfyUI GGUF, the custom node pack, and try those out. The quality will suffer as you go down the quants, but then they will work on lower and lower VRAM. So you basically want to find the quant that just runs on your video card without crashing. Basically, that'd be like the highest quality before it runs out of VRAM. How does Qwen work with multiple characters into one image with different poses? How would you do multiple characters into one image with different poses? I'm not sure what you mean. Not sure what you mean. I do see the tiling pattern thing. It might just be a Vey thing. I don't know. It's pretty generalized to diffusion. You see that a lot, like everywhere. We could also increase the quality here too. I think I'm probably running like 1350, whatever. Hi, is it going to be a review of the new one context window node? No, not today. The one context window node. So that is I should explain this right now. It is not functional in the sense that it works like animate diff. All we've done is made it possible for there to be context windows. So, like, there's a good chance that if you're going to try to use the context window nodes right away, they're not going to do anything because we really need the community to figure out how to make that work. So, basically, we're just unlocking the ability to do it. And then if it works, that's great right now. But chances are you're just going to get crossfades because we're not even sure if Juan can do this the same way Diff did and stuff like that. So, yeah, we're dying to see what the community does with those Juan context window nodes and how it gets expanded. But right now, there's not much to cover because it's really just a functionality gate being opened. But it's not, it doesn't look good yet. How much hustle is it to program loader nodes to automatically pick the right folder to download the models to when missing one workflow? It's not that simple. There are about 15 different ways to install Comfy, and they all have different levels of access to your files. And some of them have zero access to your files, aside from being able to read from a directory. So, like, fixing that issue is likely not something that we can do across the board, but if you use the desktop version of Comfy, it handles the models very well. So I would say if you're looking for Comfy to handle your models, desktop is probably your path of least resistance there. Whereas, portable and virtual environment and some of the more intermediate manual installs of Comfy, like, I actually wouldn't want it handling my models. So I think that's really just a taste thing. But yes, the desktop version will hold your hand a lot more as far as like downloading a model and putting it actually in the right folder and things like that. So, yeah. Easy cache and lazy cache nodes create bad results for me. Well, easy cache and lazy cache are designed to skip steps that are not needed. So what is likely happening is that your step skip threshold is too high. I would reduce that because it's probably skipping steps it shouldn't. What's up, Alex? What's up, Neko? Yeah, well, the lazy cache and easy cache nodes. Sorry, I'm trying to find this. Neko. Hi, Mangus is compatible with new lazy cache. It's my understanding everything is compatible with lazy cache and easy cache the way it was described. So that one seems like an across the board thing that you can try, see what it does for different things. Oh, here we go. Alan. Somebody used two poses, stitch them side by side, then add prompt to describe the two characters so they look different. Used to compose a shot. I see what you mean. Okay, so you're putting two open pose characters side by side, then describing each character and hoping that you'll get the right characters in each pose. I get you. That I was able to kind of do that with context. And actually, we can try that with this. The only issue is I did try doing subjects side by side with the way the reference latents work. And I don't think it works exactly the same way the regular conditioning stuff does for text edit. It was sort of like the camera was in the middle of my two people side by side. You know what I mean? Like, camera was sort of focused on the center, and then the left and right half were cut off. So it was sort of like centering and cropping and not doing the thing. But you know what? Maybe with padding, maybe with this, maybe with that, you can do it. I think the issue is here we're dealing with reference latents and is you doing more of a control net thing than what Qwen image edit does. Yep. So there is a difference between browser and native Comfy. Yes, the Comfy that runs on your machine is, I mean, they're basically identical, except the desktop version is a self-contained Python environment. So the portable version kind of is too, but in a different way. So the desktop version, the whole thing runs, and then it uses an app to just talk to Comfy. It works similarly to portable, but we're able to put folder files in the right folders when you download them and things like that. We have a few more hooks into the system than we do with a portable install. Do you think in 2025 the minimum VRAM for video generation will become 24 gigs? I mean, it basically has already. I hope to see a lot more distilled models. I hope to see a lot more 5Bs, a lot more 3Bs. The 1.3B, 2.1 models are awesome. They're very awesome. Like there is definitely room for less VRAM GPUs to still be making video. Animate Diff, a bunch of other stuff that all still works just great. But one sec, friends. I just realized my power is out. One sec. I need to plug it in. Just play the technical difficulties music. There we go. All right. That didn't happen. Okay. So yeah, this is turning into a Q&A. That's not so bad, but will Qwen use a video masking workflow with image to video and video? Let's just go to Q&A for now, and then we can come back to this. That way, yeah. There we go. Q&A. Ooh. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I was wearing pants today. All right, friends. Let's see. You were saying we'll get back to the Qwen stuff, but there's been 1,000 questions, so let's get into them. It's Electron app. Well, yeah, I was thinking maybe next year or next year buying an RTX 3090, but they're kind of expensive again. Yes, used 3090 is actually kind of like the money. That used 3090. That's how I got into the 24 gig sphere. So yeah, like keep an eye on the various marketplaces in your area. A lot of people say not to buy cards that were used to mine like Ethereum and Bitcoin and stuff. But my personal experience on that has been more like those are the people that are probably more interested in keeping their GPUs in good shape, temperature wise, and things like that. So, maybe not the worst possible thing. Is it possible to make a platypus with Instant X Union? I don't know. Do I know the winning Powerball numbers? I wish. I'm just going to hit a few more questions and we'll get right back to it. Actually, I think that's it. All right, friends, let's jump back to the old stream here. There we go. All right. So yeah, let's get back into it. We tested Canny we tested OpenPose, but someone was asking like, does it work better with depth? Does it work better with other things? Let's try it. So instead of using DW Pose, I'm going to grab a depth. Depth anything, version 2, relative. You can use whatever depth node you like. I just like this one. We're going to grab our scale image to total pixels, plug that in here and grab that, plug it into our preview and also plug it into... Actually, there's a really fun thing you can do in Comfy. You see how we've got all these outputs coming out of our DW Pose estimator? I need to plug all these into a different node. So instead of trying to figure out where they all go, I can actually just shift, click, and drag. Go down and plug it right in here. Did it work? Don't you love it when you're trying to show something off and you misclick? There we go. So you can grab multiple outputs from one and then drag it into another. It's pretty great. Okay. So that's our depth anything. And now if we do this, it's going to run the depth anything. And you should see that this preview image will turn into a depth map. Boom. So let's see what it does with the final image. We can probably clean this up a bit too. Whoa. Oh, wow. It made me. That's trippy. Just hanging out at the dump like I do. All right. Let's have a look. You see, it's pretty good with depth maps. The only thing I find is that it's a little weird in the blurry spots, but you know, it really adheres to it a lot better. I believe someone else asked if you can combine the ControlNet preprocessed images. I haven't tried it with Qwen Image Diff Synth yet. I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. So, little image compositing fun here. We can try. Let's just add the canny lines over it. See what that does. So we're already plugged into Canny, and Canny's plugged into this, which is not plugged into anything. Man, I got to clean up my workflows. Okay. So we got our Canny, and we have our DW pose estimator. No, we're not using that. We're using depth. Okay, so let's plug Danny and Kepth. Let's plug Canny and depth together by using a blend, an image blend. Yeah, let's try that. So we're going to go depth plus Canny. Oops, come on in, bud. There we go. Let's try, I don't know, multiply screen. We'll try some stuff, see what we get here. So now we're doing a 50% screen, so it should put the one under the other, maybe. But what it should do is just give us some outlines around the stuff. Oh, it did. It did. Actually, that's kind of cool. You see how we've blended our candy? I should show you guys what the outputs of each of these look like, actually. That might make more sense. Hopefully I'm seeing stuttering on my screen, but hopefully you guys aren't seeing that. Is the background stuttering and stuff? I'm worried that Restream's having a moment today. All right. You go here. You go here. So we'll combine the canny with the depth. And then here's our final. Let's just pop that again so we can see these sort of side by side. Yeah, so we're trying to combine these two images here, basically. If that makes sense. So we got our outlines from our canny, and we got our, yeah, I think, yeah, well, whatever. Good old internet. Oh, cool. Yeah, it really did the outline on my glasses. This stuff got really weird. You can see the outline of the house. Okay, yeah. I'd call that a success. Let's try a different image. Downloads, pixels. Let's get someone much more better. Sorry, I was looking for a good one. Yeah, this guy's fun. Okay, so we got this fella. What should we make him do? Somebody give me a prompt. We're going to stick with this mix of canny and depth. It's kind of cool. All right. The other thing I'm going to do is actually just switch out the downs for rights because it's a tall image. Cool. All right. Prompt me. Hit me with the prompt, yo. Do we have a head lower yet? Well, head is a preprocessor. So head is soft edge. And soft edge is supported. So good to go. The man is dancing in a pool underwater at a supermarket checkout with psychedelic clothing on. I'm just going to combine all these prompts. So he's dancing in a pool underwater at a supermarket checkout with psychedelic clothing on. Creepy clown. Yeah, we can do that one too. Well, there's a lot going on here. So I guess he's underwater because it's kind of blue. I think we gave it too many instructions. Let's try creepy clown. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Okay, well, it's definitely doing the thing. So yeah, instead of canny, I can show you what soft edge looks like. Canny, a soft edge is sort of like the charcoal version of canny. It's the head. Isn't the size a bit small? So this is the sort of canny version. Or sorry, head. See how it's yeah. Got sort of like softer edges. That's why they call it soft edge. I think it does better with soft edge. Oh, it blends in a little better too. Let me see the this. Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting. Good suggestion. Mixing them together. I like that. That's just more combinations to play with. Hope you like rabbit holes. Okay. Let's slide on over to the Instant X one real quick before we run out of time. Instant X. Where did I put that workflow? That's funny. I just had it. Is it in the templates yet? Let's see. Not on here, but I can just grab it from the blog. That's blog.comfy.org, friends. Just grab that workflow real quick. I just realized I had the raw thing in a tab. All right, save that. Boink. Okay, let's get back to it. Okay, file folder. There it is. Okay. Very similar, except we've added a control net, the Instant X control net to be exact. Again, this workflow is available on the blog. Just go grab it. I'll put the link in here once more, blog.comfy.org. Boom. No. There we go. Blog.comfy.org. Go get that. Which image model has the biggest variability of outputs? I don't know. That's a subjective answer, I think. Depends on what you're trying to do, really. So yeah, we got this nice new subgraph for Lotus Depth that comes with the workflow. If you want to learn how a subgraph works, go check that out. We just zoom out on that. We can see it. We currently have a thing where the mini map is fixed in position, so you may have to go find your subgraph once it's connected. But if you haven't seen a subgraph before, this is a subgraph, okay? So if you go over to this side, you'll see the inputs: pixels, VAE name, UNet name, sigma, sampler name. And if you go back out, you'll see that those are the 5 variables exposed in this node. So the way subgraphs work is you go in and you can plug stuff in from here and expose that to the outside world. It's called promoting a widget. Okay, and then we can go back into our node and we'll see that it also has outputs. So you can just send what you want to send out. So in this case, we have a whole lot of things that are happening in this depth node, but we really only need access to these things. So in that case, we can make a subgraph and make it super easy to look at and make the whole workflow one node. You can extrapolate this to anything complicated in your workflow. And then our control net is loaded over here, and we're loading the Qwen image Instant X control net union. If you need this file, it's on the blog. And yes, there's also a fit view. What's that? This one here. And it'll take you right into the node or the nothing. All right. And yeah, I believe fit view is like I think there's a mouse command too, or a key to make that happen. Hotkey. Has anyone trained LoRa's for a step? That's a good question. I haven't seen any, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. A step is a video. A step is an audio model. We've covered it on my stream, I think. Maybe on the Comfy stream too. I can't remember. But yeah, basically a local audio model that you can type lyrics into and song genres and stuff, and it'll spit out full songs. Not quite at the level of Suno, but it is local and very fast and fun to play with. All right, friends, let's try this one out. So we'll just use the default thing here. The prompt, let's try a porcupine at a monster truck rally. I like that the depth map has nothing to do with a porcupine. Lotus is a very good depth model. But judging on how realistic this depth map looks, I have a feeling. Yep, it's dot. So yeah, if you want to zoom around your Comfy, this is actually a good tip that I forgot about. So I got my K sampler here, and I want to just zoom in on it to see what's up. I can hit period once I've selected it, and it'll make it as big as possible. And then when I'm done working with the K sampler, I can click anywhere else in the project and hit period again, and it'll zoom me out. So you can actually just bounce around your project like that. If you just click and hit the button, click and hit the button, click and hit the button. Just a little concerned it's going to make. Oh, oh dear. Okay. I mean, it really tried. Okay, there's the porcupine, right, right. It's definitely at a monster truck rally. Wow. Okay. All right, let's try this one. Oh, come on back. Let's try this guy. He's pretty cool. All right, let's try one of those prompts somebody wanted. What was it? Psychedelic. Psychedelic outfit, standing on a column of pure glass in an iridescent nightscape. I'm just saying stuff. We'll see what happens. It's fast too, man. Lotus is fast. It used to be very slow. Oops, left that up. What am I most excited about when it comes to local AI? Audio. Once we get like a banger audio model locally, man, it's going to be crazy. Oh, yeah. I mean, it did a really good job considering it was just a depth map. Wow. So I haven't actually tried. I haven't tried it with OpenPose yet. Let's try that. The depth model is called Lotus. 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 Like the flower. Whoa. Well, OpenPose is certainly interesting. God, that's trippy. Yeah, all those are good examples, Alex, or ideas. Please play with the control net settings. We've talked about this before, but I'll cover it again. So, control net, you control how strong control net is. So, if you want your control net, oops, sorry, screen went all funky. If you want your control net to be less powerful, you just bring the strength down. Like you control how strong it is. But the start and end percent is actually kind of important because the start percent tells it when to start applying the control net, and the end percent tells it when to stop applying the control net. So you can think of control net as a constraint. It's trying to look at the thing you're feeding it and push your result into that. But it does that over the course of the render. Now, we're only doing 20 steps. So, 20 steps is good. But yeah, I guess, yeah, let's try. We'll do 0.9 on the end percent, and we'll actually give it a little more area to dream at the beginning. Then it's gonna start, and then it's gonna catch on about like 15% of the way through the run, and then let go 90% of the way through the run. So the lower you put the end percent, the sooner it's gonna stop using control net, and the later you put your start percent is how long it's gonna take before it starts doing control net things. So basically, the later you start it, the more noise you get on your start. the more less like the control net image it will be. Oh, that's actually really cool. So definitely play with those values. And then you can also back off the strength of it entirely as well on top of that. But yeah, it does a really good job with OpenPose. I was surprised. Okay, let's try it with Canny. Canny's like line art, tries to find the edges, but it's hard line art, not like the soft edges. You'll see it here. Like really finds all the hard lines. And these thresholds here on the Canny node, they work similarly to the start and end percent. So you can play with those as well to get more lines or less lines if you find there's too much or too little. You could think of it as like how much of the camera space it can see, right? Okay, that is sick. Cool. So we tried depth, we tried Canny, we tried Lotus. Depth, we tried Canny, we tried DW, pose. I'm trying to think if there's any other interesting control net preprocessors that might make this thing sing. We got Scribble too, which is a lot like Head. Actually, I want to see this one through the Lotus depth. Dang, that looks good. Yes, there are very many knobs to twiddle here. But speaking of subgraphs, like this entire workflow, right? Like if we wanted to, we were feeling frisky, we could take what we need over here. Let's think about this. What would we ever want exposed? We would want load image exposed. Whatever our settings here, we would want exposed. Our clip we would want exposed, but we can do that after. The models, we can expose them if we want, but we don't have to. Really, we just want to feed an image into this node, an image and a prompt. So let's grab all of this, all of it. I'm going to let go of the notes. We don't really need those. And we're going to turn this into a subgraph. So now we have our image, we have our workflow, and we have the output. So let's look at our subgraph here. So remember when I said all we have to do is expose these? Well, I want to expose the prompt. I want to expose, eventually I would expose all these model loaders, but we don't actually need it for this. I'm going to expose the, let's do the control net strength, start percent, and end percent. And we can actually spit our Lotus depth out. What else? It's really all we need. And then, you can expose things like the seed or the steps or CFG, but we're going to leave all that alone. So now if I go out of this and go back to my main thing, I'm going to have this just tiny workflow here. And I just say, Gwen image was instant X control net. It is depth, but I'm just going to put depth. You could change that too. And then this is our little preview so we can see what it's doing. And then if I run this, by all magic, it should just work. Wink. Let's move around some of these notes. Get them out of the way. Run it. A little smaller. So like that's our whole workflow. Does subgraph create a copy or does it create a reference? So each subgraph is unique right now. I think down the road, we're gonna have like more persistence and stuff, but for now, this version, if you go in, this is its own subgraph, and if you look, lotus depth is another subgraph inside this subgraph. So you can't currently say, you know, I always want to use this lotus depth map subgraph all the time, but that subgraph is inside this subgraph and does function as you would expect it to nested. So like this is the workflow now for nodes, and I don't even need the preview node, you know. So this is the power of that. Because then when I want to do, maybe I want to do a few different versions, right? Now I can just Control C, Control V, Control V. And I can pop this and this. I don't really need the preview. I know what it's going to give me. And save image. We'll do another save image. 1, 2, 3. As you can imagine. And now I can say, you know, blue shirt, red shirt, green shirt. So now to do what I just did would actually like, you know, that would have been 30, 60, maybe more nodes. But it's actually only 2 more nodes now because they're inside their own subgraphs. We might have wanted to maybe not give it any wiggle room. I don't know. And the other cool thing is you can use constants on your subgraphs as well. So if you were to, oh, that's crazy. It's like putting him in there, but then drawing someone else with the shirt behind it. Anyway, say I wanted the same strength for all of them. I can actually just pop an integer node. So search for integer. Oh, float. My bad. Decimal points are floats. So now my strength 1. I change that to 1 and just plug that into all 3 strengths. Doom, doom, doom. If I knew how to use a mouse. There we go. So now I've got my control net strength in one place. I can adjust it for all the workflows, et cetera, et cetera. That can break out constantly. So like subgraphs are just like powerful, powerful things. Terrible, terrible result here. The man is wearing a bunny costume. Oh wait, this isn't. I keep thinking it's an edit model, but it's not. Man in a rainy alley in New York City. Let's try a man in the jungle, and then another one. A man on a deep sea expedition. Ooh, I spelled that wrong. EXPED, not ID. Yeah. If you map it right, you can do feedback loops on a single subgraph as long as there's no real actual loops on the flow, which is interesting. Oh, really? Oh, that's pretty cool. If I create 2 copies and edit one, the edit will be in both. No. If you create 2 copies and edit one, the one you edited will be edited. The one you did not edit will not be edited. The subgraphs are not currently linked. That's not to say it won't happen down the road, but right now that is not how they operate. So yeah, Big Bam Boom, we got it. So man in a rainy alley, man in the jungle, and man on a deep sea exploration. Just wait for that third one there. This is a great way also to see, you could even pop 3 of the same prompts in, but I want to see what the N% at 0.6, 0.7, and 0.9 look like. You know what I mean? Like I want to test 3 different things or 5 different things or 6 different things. You can do that in one shot and then you're done. So yeah, friends, that's basically what I wanted to cover today between this stuff and the new stuff that came out. And then we'll do speech to video 1 video as soon as there's support for that in Comfy. Shouldn't be long. Man, we've got so much stuff to play with. And, you can go pop on Google Gemini after this and go play with Nano Banana. All you have to do is just go to Gemini and just drop an image in and tell it what you want the image to do. It's pretty cool, and it all works on the free version right now. You might run into a limit on the free stuff, but I was running it for a couple hours and it was fine. So yeah, have fun with that, and we'll see y'all really soon. We'll be back on Thursday on the Discord and Friday on here. Friday will probably be one speech to video, unless there's something else big on the horizon I don't know about. But yes, please come by the Discord, hang out with us, and we will probably get into some weird stuff on Thursday with Phil. So if you want to get into, actually, maybe we'll do Infinite Talk in the Discord hangout because it's a little more in the weeds. It's a little more intermediate. But yeah, I'd like to cover the new one speech to video stuff as well on the mainstream because I feel like that'll be easier to implement. But we'll see. All right, everybody, have a great time. Go play with Quen. Go play with the Lauras. Check out the blog for all the stuff that's been dropping. Much love. Thank you, friends. Bye-bye.